I've got a lot of trending stories for you guys today. As usual, TVC has our finger on the pulse. And if it's trending, then we are definitely going to be talking about it right here. In our first story is some very good news. The National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, has reunited 9 rescued children with their families in Kebbi State. The children were among 19 that were trafficked to Calabar under false promises of education in Zamfara State. At a ceremony in the government house over the weekend, Kebbi, NAPTIP State Coordinator Ms. Bahu Kaura handed the children over to their parents in the presence of Governor Nasir Idris. Now, 6 suspects, including a female lecturer in Calabar, have been arrested and arraigned. And reports are saying that the traffickers paid between 280,000 naira and 450,000 naira per child to their accomplices in Kebbi. This is the kind of news that I absolutely love to report. Imagine putting a price on a child. That is absolutely unacceptable, and I'm so proud of NAPTIP. These are the children, as you can see. They look healthy, and I'm so glad they were saved. I would love to see what you guys are saying on social media about this. Chineme says, now imagine dozens of children going missing every year. Child trafficking is real, and I feel terrible that this is happening. People are truly wicked. Sadiq Ibrahim says, I thank God for the life of these innocent children. Kudos to NAPTIP. We must give credit where credit is due. Emmanuel Chigozie says, hunger and poverty are a disease. May God provide for all struggling homes. If the parents can no longer take care, they would have taken the children to an orphanage home. I'm just so happy that these children are safe and back home. Another user, Kenneth Valentine, has said that it's such a shame. Imagine these kids dealing with such acts of inhumanity at that age. Those responsible for this should get maximum punishment for their action. He said that a lecturer in Calabar is also being arraigned in connection to this crime. We really have to keep our eyes open and ask for discernment in all areas of our lives. The Nigeria Police Public Relations Officer, Prince Olumuyiwa Adejobi, has defended officers caught on video scaling a fence, trying to gain access to a compound. He said that they have the legal right and the legal authority to force entry if they suspect that a crime is being committed. Now, the viral video, of course, has sparked outrage online, with many Nigerians arguing that such actions undermine the rule of law and could set a dangerous precedent for police-citizen relations, while many are insisting that the proper legal channel should always be followed to avoid the abuse of power and violent clashes. What do you guys think? I know that forced entry is what caused the slain EFCC officer in Anambra State. May his soul rest in peace. So I don't think that is great, but we'll take some tweets now. Basquiat says, this could have been anybody. Please, sir, at Prince Moye1, how can we differentiate police from kidnappers like this? I think that is a valid question to keep both citizens and the police safe. Ojuko Taiwo says, I know you all hate the Nigerian police, but what is bad is when you do not open the door when they politely approach your doorstep in broad daylight. This is quite tricky. Bona Effective says, dear sir, there should be provision for compensation if after breaking in and properties are damaged and the Nigerian police later find out that the suspect is innocent. Earlier on in the show, I know that we had an EFCC official here, and we spoke about the concept of forced entry and how permissible that is under rule of law. But Ibrahim and Ms. Veronica, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this.
Out, we had a lawyer here earlier on talk about the matter of forced entry. We were speaking with regards to the EFCC official that passed in the course of duty in Anambra State, and he said that it's the law for them to break in forcefully if, after saying we are here from the EFCC and we have a warrant of arrest and all of that, and you do not open the door, that they will come in whichever way they can, and even if it's your neighbor, they will break in through your neighbor's house to get across to the person involved. And so it is backed by law. We also talked about the matter of compensation, and he said that the law does not cover compensation. So perhaps we need to begin to look at amendments to that aspect of the law. But it is unfortunate what we're seeing happen, that the EFCC, the Nigeria Police Force, need to come out to tell Nigerians why these issues, educate Nigerians on why we keep seeing these kinds of videos where there are officers breaking into houses to enforce arrests.
In this case, this was an officer of the Nigerian Police Force.
That's what I'm saying.
But completely, we're seeing that being replicated. Ibrahim, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, sometimes, I guess these guys, they have access to the social media, so they can actually evoke emotions, because if they don't have anything, any skeleton in their cupboard, so to speak, to use that colloquial expression, they probably would have submitted themselves to arrest or maybe have a conversation with the Nigerian police. But I won't blame them on the other hand, because we've seen some of these issues. We've seen the way some people were arrested, wrongfully, and then they even have to pay a certain amount of money to be granted bail. But we also see this happen outside of the country. The SWAT team, for instance, in the US, we see how they break the doors. We see how forcefully they go into people's room to arrest them, especially if they are resisting arrest. But I would advise the Nigerian police that all Nigerian police should be wearing body cameras, especially those that are bearing arms when it comes to, arresting people and all of that. So that's on one side. And the NAPTIP, I would say kudos to them. They've been they've been ensuring that they rescue those who have been trafficked, and people arrest those who are also those who are the traffickers. But we should also do better as parents, as wards, ensure that whoever we are handling, or our wards too, we should make sure they are the right people. Or we should not even be thinking of, yes, this person is going to help my child or anything without having adequate information.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Ibrahim. Thank you guys so much for your thoughts, as always. In entertainment news, I don't know if I'd call this entertainment, but in the music scene, Nigerian Afrobeat icon Innocent Tubaba Idibia has announced his separation from his wife, actress Annie Idibia, after the two spent over a decade of marriage together. Now, the couple who tied the knot in 2012 shared 2 children. And in a surprising Instagram post yesterday, Tubaba revealed that they have been separated for some time and have officially filed for divorce. However, shortly after, another post surfaced from Two-Face claiming that his account had been hacked, which caused confusion among his fans. Adding to the drama, he came back online again, posted a video stating that his account was, after all, not compromised, and he had said what he said concerning the divorce. Now, as expected, social media is buzzing with reactions, speculations, and hot takes. This is the couple in their heyday. Celebrity media personality Toke Makinwa had this to say. She said, I think she's referring to Two-Face here. She says, this is wrong on all levels, and you should be ashamed of yourself for bringing this here. Bring it on. If you think she's alone, let me tell you here that you have to fight all of us. I guess he didn't just marry Annie, he married Toke as well. Toon's baby says, this Two-Face and Annie thing just preaches one solid thing. There is absolutely no reward in suffering and enduring with a man. Some stories are different. It pays off. Chief Ene says, I feel so bad for Annie. This is why you must not build your whole life around a man. Edidiong says, I don't feel bad for her. She saw the signs and stayed. As you lay your bed, you'll sleep there. And Finding Solace takes a more empathetic approach. She says, even Two-Face seems to be going through a lot emotionally, and he cannot hide it anymore. Time will tarry, but it will still come to light. Both of them just need healing. It's unfair that the lives of celebrities are sprawled open for all of us to see like this, but I guess that is the price that you pay for fame. In international news, Donald Trump has won a battle with Colombia after threatening a trade war when the country refused to accept deported migrants. In a statement, President Donald Trump declared an immediate 25% tariff on all Colombian imports, warning that that number would rise to 50% within the week. In a late-night news conference, Colombian Foreign Minister Luis Gilberto Murillo said officials have overcome the impasse and will accept citizens deported from the U.S. That could have been very, very messy, mostly for Colombia, who receives over $450 million in aid from the U.S. On average annually. This is President Gustavo Petro, as you can see. He did tweet this concerning the trade war that was to happen yesterday, concerning the migrants who he turned back, and this is a translation, and this was his reason for turning them away. He says, the U.S. cannot treat Colombian migrants as criminals. I deny the entry of American planes carrying Colombian migrants into our territory. The United States must establish a protocol for the dignified treatment of migrants before we receive them. A strong stance to take. Heather Mullins says, saying you don't want your own citizens back in your country dignifies them how? Rob Phoenix says, maybe the U.S. shouldn't have destabilized and impoverished Colombia and the rest of Latin America for decades and created the immigration problem in the first place. These two, I'm happy that that has been sorted out. But I'm curious, Ibrahim and Veronica, which of these stories pique your interest? And especially, I want to know your take on the Two-Face and Annie situation, because that is what's trending right now, and that is my mandate here. Well,
interesting. For me, the Two-Face's issue, I think it's a family affair. They've actually decided, I wasn't there when they decided to get married. If they decide to separate, if it's good for them, good for the family, and good for their fans as well. But all the same, talking about Donald Trump, I will always say that wherever this is going to lead us, because I know that the impact is going to have on both countries, not just the Colombian government. Well, he has my flowers, Petro has my flowers, because that's a good one. You can't return people by calling them criminals and put them in U.S. Army's aircraft. He said use a civilian aircraft to bring them back to the country. And then Colombia, it's going to affect economic sanctions. It's going to affect them when it comes to, exporting flowers and all of that. There's so much to talk about on all of this, but it's going to affect both countries, U.S. and Colombia, and even Latin America as a whole, because investors will now be skeptical as to investing in some of these places, U.S. and some other affected countries.
Thank you, Ibrahim. Ms. Veronica?
All right, for me, my interest is that of Annie and Two-Face Idibia. Three things that are my concern. One, the children, how this will impact them. Two, the people involved. Annie, we already said there are issues around her and how it is that she needed to take a break. And now with all the effort she has put in, this is happening because some would say that what she became now is as a result of the several issues that she has been speaking about with regards to her family, her marriage to Two-Face and co. And thirdly, their extended families, how this is going to impact them as well. So I hope that in the course of this, if the story is true, there's been so many sides to the story, that everyone find healing at the end of the day. But thank you, Olamide, for bringing us these stories on Trending Now.